If you look at the top 10 wealthiest people on the planet, top 20 wealthiest people on the planet, top 50 wealthiest people on the planet, I don't see any short sellers in there. And if shorting is such a great activity, why don't I see these awesome short sellers in the Forbes 400? Why don't I see them there? That list is dominated by people. It's dominated with people with two characteristics: people who are long only and people who are non diversified. For example, my hero, Sam Walton, and the Walton family, and so on, and or Bill Gates and or Jeff Bezos and so on. These are all long only players. So if you're mathematically inclined, on paper it looks really nice that I can go long 10 stocks that I think are undervalued, and then short 10 stocks that I think are overvalued, and create alpha and all of that. And there are some people who are very gifted at that and who can do very well. But the issue with shorting is that it comes with a need to be really good at risk management. Let's say, for example, you shorted Tesla at $50 a share. Each time Tesla went up 10% in price, for example, they would cut their short position by 10%. So by the time it got to 100 or something thereof, they're out in effect, right? That's how you manage the risk, because as it's going up in price, your losses are, magnified quite significantly. On the other hand, typically the way they manage it is that if Tesla goes down in price, as it goes down in price, they increase the short position. So if they're shorted 1,000 shares at 50, they at 45, they might make it 1,100, and at 40, they might make it 1,200. And so you're typically playing this game where you're doing this. And I think even the best short sellers, the way they measure their results, they would say, look, if the S&P long term has done 9% a year, and I have long term lost 3% a year, it's an exceptional result because I created 6% alpha. Well, I don't see how that gets you on the Forbes 400, other than by convincing people to give you fees for losing 3% a year. So shorting is just something, I have a couple of gurus, Warren and Charlie. What they say, for the most part, makes a lot of sense to me. They say specifically when they had companies that they believe were great short candidates, they were almost always right about the company, but always wrong on the timing. And so it's really hard to get both the timing and the direction correct. So it is so much easier to make money on the long side. The other thing is that if you're short, you got an umbilical cord linked to a quote machine. Okay, when the market's open, like I have no idea what's happening to my portfolio right now. I mean, I have no leverage, I have no shorts, and quite frankly, it's irrelevant what happens today or tomorrow or next month and so on. And even if I never got to see any stock quotes, it's perfectly fine. That is not how a short seller lives his life.